What is up, guys? That's it here. It is Sanctuary Sunday once again, and it's time to finish the story of Diablo 2. How did the heroes vanquish two primevals? Stay a while and listen. Within the Zakarum chamber, the Primes devised a final stratagem to retake the burning hells and claim vengeance upon those who overthrew them. This included their long-sought goal to corrupt the World Stone, thereby enslaving all of humankind and its Nephilim potential to their will. With an army of Nephilim as their vanguard, the Primes would quickly overwhelm the Hell's traitorous legions and re-establish their infernal reign for all time. To accomplish this, the Primes combined their powers to open a portal that would allow them access to their former domain. It was then that Diablo finally cast off the mortal visage of Prince Aidan and assumed his true demonic form. Intent on rallying the legions within Hell still loyal to the Three, Diablo crossed through the shimmering portal. Baal began his long journey north to corrupt the World Stone, while Mephisto alone remained, bent on destroying any and all opposition to their plan. When the mortal heroes arrived in Kurast, the city had already been overrun by demonic hordes. Bloody combat was waged in the streets as the heroes fought to gain entrance into Travincal. Once inside, they faced not only demons, but also the corrupted zealots and high council members of the Zakarum faith. At the time, it is doubtful that it occurred to the champions that they were toppling the world's greatest religion, but such was the case. Nonetheless, they continued down into the deepest recesses of the temple, where they finally faced Mephisto. In the fevered combat that ensued, Mephisto worked diligently to turn the hunters' own anger and distrust back against them. But despite the long hunt and the many grueling hours of battle, in the end the heroes defeated Mephisto and trapped his essence within the Sapphire Soulstone. It was not long after this victory that Cain arrived to survey the carnage wrought by the terrible conflict, and though it pained him greatly, he knew that the heroes' battle was not over, for if Diablo were to gather an army from the burning hells, he would most assuredly return and carry out the Primes' plan, despite the efforts. Those who had fought so hard for so long did not hesitate. They drove through the portal without a backward glance, and Cain somehow summoned the courage to follow them. The gateway they entered, however, did not lead directly to Hell. Instead, it allowed access to the breathtaking Pandemonium fortress, the abandoned bastion that once housed the World Stone. Even as his senses reeled, he wondered why the primevals had chosen to open a portal there. Perhaps to allow Diablo furtive access into the Hells. Whatever the case, it meant that perhaps there was still time. The Pandemonium Fortress was the most incredible, astonishing, and perplexing place mortal eyes have ever beheld. Colors, shapes, textures, none seemed as they should have. The surroundings pulsed and shifted before the eyes. Cain was overwhelmed, but determined also to offer whatever assistance he might to the heroes who pursued Diablo. It was then that his eyes fell upon the shining visage of Tyrael. Not wanting to directly intervene and risk the high heavens learning what had befallen Sanctuary, the Archangel regretted that he could not venture into the hells at the mortal's side. But he offered insight, a theory, a chance perhaps to eliminate both Mephisto and Diablo once and for all. He spoke of the Hellforge, located in the deepest pit of the Realm of Destruction. It was here that the demonic smiths forged Hell's most powerful weapons. Thus it was said that the dread Hellforge held many unholy anvils, and among them was the Anvil of Annihilation. It was upon this anvil that angelic weapons and artifacts were destroyed. Legends held that anything broken upon the Anvil of Annihilation, no matter how powerful, would be forever negated. The hunters possessed Mephisto's Soulstone already. Tyrael theorized that if they somehow overcame Diablo and trapped his essence as well, then perhaps both Soulstones could be shattered upon the anvil. Therefore, in theory, the demon lords themselves would be obliterated and their souls cast into some unseen netherworld. It is staggering to think back upon that moment, for who could ask such a thing of mere mortals? Tyrael did not have to ask. Without hesitation, the pursuers charged headlong into the fires of the burning hells, while Tyrael remained behind to serve as Kain's protector. The champions fought their way across the nightmare landscape and reached the volatile realm of destruction, seeking the mythic Hellforge. One can scarcely imagine what horrors they faced and overcame, but their spirit and will proved indomitable. They stood at the smoldering rim of the Hellforge, and there, upon the anvil of annihilation, the heroes shattered Mephisto's soulstone. The heroes then tracked down Diablo. Despite the odds against them, they succeeded in overtaking the Lord of Terror. Once again, the sheer tenacity of the human heart proved victorious, for the heroes achieved the impossible. They vanquished Diablo within his own realm. As they pulled the Crimson Soulstone from Diablo's corpse, the demon's massive form began to wither. They set about trapping Diablo's essence within the Soulstone, and when they succeeded, Diablo's disintegrating husk took on the form of Prince Aidan. In honor of the prince's memory, the champions ceremonially wrapped his broken body and threw it in the infernal fires that raged all around them. With Diablo's Soulstone in their possession, the beleaguered heroes made their way back to the Hellforge and sundered the artifact upon the anvil of annihilation. The first-hand accounts of the champions tell us that when both Mephisto's and Diablo's soulstones were shattered, a similar fate befell the Primes. A scream, such as no human being had ever heard, rent the air, followed by a black and intangible nothingness opening before the heroes. They averted their eyes as the wailing souls of Diablo and Mephisto were swallowed by the yawning darkness. We must remember the theories held by Zoltan Kuhn that the spirits of angels and demons could be banished to a place beyond even heaven and hell, a place he called the Abyss. Thinking back on the champions and their experience at the Hellforge, one thing is for certain: Diablo and Mephisto were cast somewhere that would make even them feel fear. Regardless, with the shattering of the Soul Stones, yet another chapter in the struggle of humankind against the agents of the burning hells had come to an end. And thus ends this week's Sanctuary Sunday. I hope you enjoyed the completion of the tale of the second Diablo game, and if you did, I would appreciate your subscription to my channel. Talk to me on Twitter and Facebook that I link below, see me live at twitch.tv/thedeadset, and I'll see you guys next time.